Good morning, everybody. Cruiseman here. It is Sunday morning and we just had our weekly breakfast at a wake. Welcome to Cruiseman's Motovlogs. Haven't done a motovlog in a while.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
I thought I had a couple things to talk about, so what better time? I'm testing out this Insta360 X4 camera, and what's interesting is I'm recording audio today using the Bluetooth capability of this Sena Outrush R helmet. I'm also testing this Outrush R helmet. This is the second time or third, no, actually the third time I've ridden with this helmet. I'm going to head to the grocery store, get a little grocery shopping done, which I do on Sunday, and I'll tell you a little bit about my impressions of this Outrush R helmet. What's different, as many of you may know, I have my Sena Impulse helmet, which I really do like, but the Outrush R is a kind of a lower cost helmet than the Impulse, but what you give up is you do not have the Sena mesh technology in this helmet. It's strictly a Bluetooth. You can see here on the side it's got a Bluetooth communicator. Now let's talk about the helmet itself. It is a lighter weight helmet than the Impulse. I weighed it this morning. I got it to weigh in about 3 pounds, 14 ounces. I weighed my Impulse helmet and it was 4 pounds, I think it was 4 pounds, 4 ounces. So this is a slightly lighter shell than the Sena Impulse. It has the face shield. It is a modular helmet. The face shield has good optics. The clear plastic lens is, I don't see any distortion there. So as a helmet, it's pretty comfortable. I think it fits slightly smaller, a little tighter than the Impulse. I have a large Impulse and I also have this in a large. This one does seem to fit a little bit tighter, but it still fits fine. It's comfortable. It actually feels like it fits me better than the Impulse. It's pretty comfortable. All the interior materials and padding feel comfortable. Face shield itself is not quite as smooth, the opening and closing of the face shield, and the sunshade, which is on the side as opposed to on the bottom edge like it is on the Impulse. I think that's where I noticed the biggest difference in, I'm going to say, the quality. It doesn't feel nearly as smooth and fluid. It's a little clunky and it kind of sticks at a certain point. You have to really pull down to get it to go all the way up to get it out of the way. I think that mechanism for the sunshade is a little iffy, but it works. I mean, once you get the sunshade down, it kind of has two levels. I don't know if it really has two levels. It just kind of is locked down or locked up, one of the two. But the sunshade itself is very clear. It's easy to see through. It's a good tint. The sunshade itself is a good quality. It's just the mechanism is a little bit quirky. As far as the sound quality of the speakers, the Impulse is not really a fair comparison because it's got the Harman Kardon speakers and it really has good volume and good sound. When I'm listening to my radio on the Goldwing, I can usually have it set to level 6 or 7 on the Impulse. This one I have to crank it up to about level 9. So it doesn't quite have the same volume as the Impulse, but then again, the Impulse is a much more expensive helmet. So again, it's not a fair comparison. I like the overall look and the design of the helmet. I think it's a very modern, sleek looking design. As far as wind noise, I can't tell much difference between this and the Impulse helmet. I'd say they're very similar. As a low-cost helmet with a integrated Bluetooth system built in, it's a heck of a value. I think it retails for $299 on the Sena website. I mean, it's a heck of a bargain. I think you can get it in black or white. I obviously got the white. I'm enjoying the feel of it. So who is this helmet for? I think if you ride in a group with people that don't have Sena mesh, maybe they have the older Sena headsets that only have Bluetooth, or if you ride with other riders that have other Bluetooth helmets, no Sena mesh, like Cardo or J&M or any other brand, you shouldn't have any trouble connecting this to those other helmets through Bluetooth. No more trouble than you would have with any other helmet. There'd be no advantage to having something like Sena mesh because you wouldn't be using it anyway. Or if you don't necessarily ride in a group, maybe you just ride you and your wife, and you want to be able to just communicate with her, and she has the same helmet, that would be a good application for this helmet. Or if you're a solo rider, and you simply want to connect to your Goldwing audio system, this is going to give you the same connectivity to your Goldwing audio as you would have with the Sena Impulse or the 50S or any of the other ones. You're not really taking full advantage of Sena mesh anyway, because you're just using the Bluetooth capability to communicate with the motorcycle and or with the maybe it's your mobile phone, maybe you're just connecting through Bluetooth. You're not using mesh for that. The mesh is simply for intercom purposes. So the real advantage the mesh gives you is if you're riding with a group of other riders that also have Sena mesh, it becomes a little bit easier, a little better experience than just the Bluetooth capabilities of this helmet. Overall, I think it's a nice package for the price. $299 for a helmet with Bluetooth communications built in. I mean, a Bluetooth communicator alone is probably going to cost you $150 to $200. So you're getting a helmet for an extra $100, a nice DOT certified quality helmet. Another thing they did on this helmet, here's the this is what it's like with the chin bar up. The chin bar mechanism is pretty smooth. It's also got a little chin curtain under here, and it's got this little, I don't know what you call this little nose guard thing here. It's got, of course, the built-in microphone, which seems to work well. And like I say, I'm communicating right now with my Sena X4 camera, and it seems to work very well. It connected through Bluetooth very easily. I'll show you later how you connect this headset to for motovlogging. If you're a motovlogger and you just want to be able to motovlog and connect to use Bluetooth, you don't have to have separate microphone, you don't have to have anything other than this helmet and a Insta360 Ace Pro or X4, and I think it'll work with the X3 as well. I haven't tested it yet, but I will. That's what I've tested today, working really well. Let me go get my grocery shopping done, and then I'll come back and we're going to talk about some other stuff.
A few moments later.
Now I'm going to head home. And I'm going to update you a little bit on my recent video I just put out. Actually, I put it out last night. Some of you may have already seen it, where I was talking about the left side inner cowl and how I was unable to get it reinstalled. It was quite an ordeal, and I still am not 100% sure that what I did, I know it didn't completely resolve the issue, because the left side of that front center cowl, I kept calling it the front lower cowl, but it was the front center cowl. I get these cowls confused. Sometimes when I make these videos, I have a presidential moment where I get a little off track and I say the wrong thing. But basically it's the front center cowl, which is the panel right underneath the headlight, and it was either not installed correctly, which was my first thought. But boy, I'll tell you what, from every angle other than inside the wheel well and from underneath the handlebar tunnel, it looked fine from the front of the bike. It didn't look like it was not lined up with the tab. And when I reinstalled it, whatever I did brought it within 1/4 of an inch, I would say. It was about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch off before. That brought it within about 1/4 of an inch, which I explained in my video. And somebody put a comment in, I'm sorry I don't have the name right in front of me. Somebody put a comment in suggesting that maybe there's some other part that's not installed correctly, and that's causing that panel to not fit correctly, which that thought did come to my mind after I'd reassembled everything. I thought, you know, maybe there was some other part that sits above that. It's not the headlight. The headlight looks fine. But there might be some other part not installed correctly, and maybe it's hitting something and forcing that panel to drop down. I just don't know. I would have to disassemble it all again to check and make sure. So I'm not really keen on doing that right now, because I spent 2 hours yesterday, at least 2 hours, trying to get that inner cowl lined up. It's a fluke. Nobody else in my comments, and 5,000 people have watched that video in less than 24 hours, and nobody else has said they've had that situation. So I guess it's a one-off. I just got lucky. But you know, that on top of the fact that I had the stuck oil filter when I got the bike, I couldn't get the oil filter off. And there was another panel that I was working on a couple of days ago, that when I removed it, or I went to reinstall it, I don't remember the panel, but I thought, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's installed correctly. I had a 2018 Goldwing, which was the first year model for the new style Goldwing, and I didn't have any of these issues. And you would think, I think I had one of the first few hundred 2018 Goldwings ever built. So you would think by now any of those issues would have been resolved. Now, everything else on the bike is working fine, other than I did have an issue with the heated grips. So there's the third issue. And I'm not sure, but I think that may have resolved itself. The last time I tried to use the heated grips, they seemed to be working okay. So I don't know if that was some sort of little, maybe they had to break in, or I don't know. I just don't know if there was a glitch there or what. The jury's still out on the heated grips. We did have a new visitor join us today. He rode his bike over from South Arlington, which is where we used to live before we moved to Carrollton. Thanks for joining us. He has a 2021 red Goldwing. Pretty bike. Everybody seems to have red. Robert's got red. Don had red. A lot of the guys that come join us for breakfast at Awake have red. Oh, and also want to give a shout out to DFW Honda, because Yesterday, Robert went to DFW Honda, and they gave him one of those oil filter wrenches that I've been talking about. And I'm going to talk about oil filter wrenches in an upcoming video. We're going to go through some different solutions on how you can get a stuck oil filter off your bike. And this oil filter wrench was something they used there, and I'm going to show it to you and we'll talk about it, see how that goes. So I am, again, I'll explain it again, I'm using the Bluetooth audio built into this Insta360 X4. I have it paired to the Bluetooth communicator built into this Outrush R helmet from Sena, but you should be able to connect any Bluetooth communicator to these newer Insta360 cameras like the Ace Pro, the X4, and I believe the X3. And I think the audio quality is good enough that I don't need to go to the hassle of installing a lavalier microphone inside the helmet and going through all that hassle. Also, it gives me the ability to end a recording session using my voice. I can use voice commands to control the camera. And that is very cool, because that way if your camera is mounted out of reach, like this 360 camera, I can reach it, but I have to take my hands off the handlebar. Whereas if I want to end my recording session, I can simply say stop recording, and without taking my hands off the handlebars, I can begin a new session, a new clip, using voice commands, which I just did. You can't hear it because the camera hadn't started by the time I spoke the words. I mean, I spoke the words and the camera comes on and goes into recording mode. So it's actually very cool that you can do that. And I've been pretty impressed with the quality of the audio. I saw Robert White's recent video where he did the same thing using his Ace Pro, and I thought the audio was pretty respectable. If you enjoyed this video, would you do me a favor? Please give it a thumbs up. Also, check out my merchandise shop at shop.cruisemansgarage.com. We have some new designs out there, some new dual clutch transmission designs. We now have the caps in stock. It took a while to get the caps done, but I got the caps ready. A couple of new t-shirt designs. I'm going to show you a new design next week and get your opinion on it. You may notice I've got a new jacket. I've got a new Olympia Air Glide 6, and I've been wearing Olympia jackets for many years, and I had an Air Glide 4 and I loved it. That's the one most of you probably recognize me in. Well, about a month ago, I got a message from Road Glide. Some of you know Road Glide. And he let me know that Cycle Gear had these Olympia Air Glide 6 jackets on sale. Now, Olympia is out of business. They went under during COVID, I guess, which was really a sad day for me because I loved these Olympia jackets. They fit me good. I think they look good. I like the visibility of the high-vis jackets. Well, apparently, I'm guessing Cycle Gear, which is also part of Revzilla, they must have bought out any remaining inventory that Olympia had. That's my guess. I went to their website, and sure enough, they had my size, which I wear a large. And I wear extra large in a lot of things, but I only wore large in the Olympia jackets, and they fit great. I think they were on sale for like $189 or $190, something like that. Really good deal, because I think I paid $289 for the last one I got, and that was back in, I don't know, 2018, 2019. So it was a great deal. I got it in just a few days. It fits perfectly. It comes with it's a mesh jacket, so it's a summer jacket, but it also has a liner for cold weather. And if it's like all my other Olympia jackets, I can usually go down to 40 degrees no problem with the liner. And it's also got a waterproof, like a rain liner, that you can wear underneath or on top of the jacket, which I love that because I can just throw it on over the jacket. So if you like this jacket, now they have it in other colors, but they didn't have very many sizes available. This one, when I bought it, they still have quite a few sizes available. So you might go to Cycle Gear and look for Olympia Air Glide 6. You should be able to find it. Because a couple of you have asked me about my jacket, so I just thought I would throw that in at the end of this video. Okay, now I'm done. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. See you next time. Ride often, ride safe.